Good evening, everyone. The more that can put on your cameras, the better. Thank you. So we can all say hello to each other and remind ourselves of our unique individuality as well as our amazing humanness with our eyes and our ears and our nose and our tongue and our body. Not to take it for granted. We're kind of miraculous expressions of life. So anyway, happy to see you. Happy to be able to see you. And share in the return to simplicity, to stillness, and to the source of love, stillness and love. So for those who are willing and interested to unmute and say hello, say where you're calling in from, and take in the sound of each other's voices. Anyway, I'm happy to see you. So,
Hi, Jim from Southwest Washington. Just
Jim.
returning from my trip to Egypt.
Oh,
Wow.
how exciting.
Wow.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
Howard from State 51.
Thank you, Howard from the Sunshine Coast of BC.
Thank you.
Bill from Pittsburgh,
Where's Pittsburgh?
Pennsylvania.
No, who's calling? Oh, Bill from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Oh, I just found your note today, Bill.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, I'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Linda from San Francisco.
Hey, Linda, welcome.
Brooke from Portland and San Francisco.
Hi, Brooke, welcome.
Martin and Leah from British Columbia,
Canada.
Bowen Island.
Great. I didn't hear the names, but I heard the Bowen Island and British Columbia. So welcome.
Martin and Leah, thank you.
Oh, Martin and Leah, welcome.
Thank
Glad
you.
you're here.
We are too.
Jerry from Nashville, big love.
Oh, Jerry, welcome back. Been missing you. You raise the love vibe. See, look at Maureen just shared a little love right back at you.
There it is. There it is.
Hujong from San Francisco.
Yvette, wait, I missed that.
Can you hear me?
If you could say it once more. Oh, Sujung, right, there you are. I see you.
Keith from Berkeley.
Hey, Keith, welcome.
Angela, San Francisco.
Hi, Angela, and I saw Sabina raising her hand. Welcome.
Hi, Howie.
Good to
Laura
have
from
you.
Maryland.
Hi, Laura.
Cecilia from Scottsdale.
Hi, Cecilia.
Mary from Richmond.
Oh, Mary, the last three were all board members. They're the ones that hold us together. Without them, we would dissolve into the void. Eventually, we will anyway. But in the meantime,
Charlie in Maine.
hey, Charlie, welcome.
Matt from Howie.
Hey, Matt. Glad to hear the aloha spirit.
Ashima from San Francisco. Namaskar.
Hi, Ashima. Welcome.
Mary in Santa Barbara.
Hello, Mary. Welcome.
Miriam in Vancouver, Canada.
Hi, Miriam. Glad you're with us. I don't see you right now, but I hear you.
You'll see me better if I put a light on.
There you are. Glad to see you. Missed you at the weekend.
Yeah, didn't work out.
I understand. It happens.
Thanks. Yeah.
Anyway.
Rebecca in San Francisco.
Hi, Rebecca. Glad you're here.
And Jeff,
Hi, Jeff. Welcome. Glad you're here. A big smile, lighting up our Sangha. So thank you for your voices. Thanks for your presence. Thanks for the lifting power of Sangha to kind of hold us to our practice, hold us here long enough that we learn and reawaken to the natural peace and ease that is the natural peace and ease of our nature, to return to natural stillness. Not by trying to be still, but just by being present, having our attention in the same location as our body, which is always present, and cultivating the sense of seclusion or aloneness, but mixing that aloneness with the sense of togetherness. So now, not completely forgetting that we are supporting one another and being supported by one another, let's enter into that safety and seclusion of our inner life. Although sometimes it's a dance to return to a feeling of safety. It's sometimes a bumpy landing, but we start with accommodating what's very neutral in general, simple, just contact points, touch points. The touch of our eyelids as they close softly, and not thinking that there's anything more exotic or beyond just this touch of the eyelids. And the touch of the lips if your mouth is closed. And the touch of your rear on the cushion or chair. Just hovering long enough in this domain of sensation for the idea of rear end, the idea of chair or cushion, just to melt away and just feel that touch. The touch of the hands, whatever they're touching. Until there are no hands, just touch. Feeling the shape or the form of the sitting body that has found itself upright, balanced, without strain or tension, just feeling whatever those touch sensations that give the sense of a whole body sitting. And for some, just this experience of sitting can function as our anchor to present time, anchor to stillness, anchor to the simple reality of the present moment. And for some of you, inevitably, you'll start to notice the little movements or the sensations that are created when your body breathes. And without trying to breathe or without directing the breath, just feeling the touch of the breath wherever it's most obvious. And for some, that will be your anchor point. Place to return to, a place to refine and steady our attention and build a continuity of awareness. Just this point where the breath is most clear. And feeling that breath, whether they're short or long or rough or smooth, feeling the texture of the entire in-breath, beginning, middle, in. And feel the texture of the out-breath, the beginning, middle, out-breath. One half breath at a time. Just resting in a state of being simply aware and receiving this experience of the body breathing. Just this breath, just this moment. Even though the breath is our primary anchor, we also graciously receive other experiences that may move to the foreground of our awareness. And the breath may move to the background. And so when another experience becomes predominant, we welcome it. Other sensations, we feel their quality. We feel what happens to them. We feel their changing nature. Moods the same. We feel them through our body, like internal weather, changing, moving. We also welcome thoughts and images, which will inevitably rise up and be known in awareness. It's just the thinking mind thinking, one of the accessible doorways to understand selflessness, how the thoughts are their own thinkers. They're not me, they're not mine, they're not my thoughts. They're the thinking mind thinking. So we graciously receive all the experiences, but we cling to none of it. We continually realize the Dharma, how everything is changing. And we respond wisely by just letting things go, letting them be, coming and going, without grasping, without condemning, just aware. And in this way we rest in the freedom of mind that's not caught up in so much reactivity. Just aware. Just this moment. Just this breath, or whatever becomes predominant. Noticing how the body stills without trying to be still. Notice how the mind settles without trying to settle, just by being aware. Our mind empties, becomes filled with the life of the present moment. Just this. Just a brief reminder that when you realize that you've been lost in thought, this is a sign of mindfulness, re-arising, coming back online. So appreciate that moment of noticing. And in support of remaining anchored to the present time, encouragement of being present, we find our body, find our breath. And we maintain that continuity of attention as long as it lasts, knowing that mindfulness is sometimes present and sometimes not. And we're simply encouraging more continuity of attention, just this moment. Remembering once again that mindfulness is not trying to make anything happen, it's just trying to notice. Not trying to fix or solve any problems, work through anything, become anyone, just being aware. This itself is the mind free of this constant stress of becoming. Just being aware, moment by moment, of things just as they are. This breath, this body, this mind. Begin your practice right now. Every moment is a new beginning. Fresh. The way goes nowhere, just here. Such a treat to sit with you and just having lots of waves of gratitude for the fact that you show up and support each other and give me the opportunity to share the Dharma, to feel that sense of connection with like-minded yogis. And just want you to know I don't take it for granted. This is, without you, I wouldn't be here. And I really do appreciate everyone here. And I wanted, before we move on to, please don't forget any kind of question, comment, description. But first, while I have everyone with captive attention, I had this impulse during the sitting to call out one of our dear Sangha members, who's up at least in the upper part of my screen, but you might have to look around for her. But it is either today or tomorrow, it is Maureen Mackenzie's birthday. Do you mind if I say how old? 84 years old. And she is 84 years of blessings. And in my life, the last, I think, 25 years almost, a blessing from, she's one of the people in the Regina, Saskatchewan community who through all these years made it so inviting for me to visit Saskatchewan and be part of that community, part of that Sangha. And Maureen is really at the heart of it. And so I wanted to call her out and have everyone in their own way wish her happy birthday. Blessed day when she was born. And of course, that's true for all of us here. If you ever forget your own extraordinary, unique expression of life, it's always a good time to remember. You're meant to be here. How do we know that you're here? And what had to happen for you to be here? Each person, everything that ever happened in the universe had to happen in order for you to be here. And it's not an accident. It's the culmination of many, many conditions coming together. So appreciate yourself, appreciate Maureen.
And Maureen has her hand up.
Okay, Maureen, go for it.
I didn't put my hand up, but thank you, all of you. I'm so glad to be here with you tonight.
Oh,
Happy birthday, Maureen.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, feel free. I guess we could take a moment and let people.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, Maureen.
yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Maureen.
Happy birthday.
So this happy birthday means it's acknowledging that it's a special thing to be born. The Tibetan tradition, the first reflection before you even begin to practice is to reflect on the preciousness of being born and all the conditions that had to come together. And of course, it's an encouragement to take advantage of this precious human birth. Could have been born a turtle, No, I'm just kidding. Who knows? But all the conditions that had to come together. So thanks for being born, Maureen. So, are there any? I'm always interested in what's happened during the sitting. If there are any questions, comments, descriptions, topics that emerged, something that you might want me to comment on, probably time I can be as what we call a Kalyanamitta, spiritual friend, I can be most useful. I was really, hate to tell you, but I was thinking a lot during the sitting tonight. So any notions that the facilitator is always quiet, maybe my mind generally defaults to quiet, but I do a lot of thinking. And one of the thoughts tonight is the way that we're configured here. I'm at least on my screen, I'm up on the upper left, one of the two boxes up, the second box over. I'm not highlighted. You have the freedom to highlight me if you want, but in general, I'm just one of the boxes, and that to me is emblematic of the way that the facilitator or the person who teaches is held in the Buddha Dharma, not as a imperious embodiment of perfection, but more as Kalyanamita, which means spiritual friend, a fellow traveler, so to speak, and just someone who has been deputized in a way by life to share the good news, to point to the possibility in each of us of awakening, of a reminder of that intrinsic stillness and clarity and compassion that can flow from our hearts when we let ourselves come into a more continuous experience of present time awareness. Spiritual friend. How did I get on that topic? Anyway, I had a senior moment just now. Any topics, comments, questions? Love to hear from you, and know that your comment or question will be of some use to someone else. So, Steve, welcome.
Thank you. While I was meditating with you, I had a concussion a couple days ago.
Ooh, so sorry to hear that.
And I think it's affecting me. And then when I spoke to the doctor, I said, I feel a little depressed, but I don't need to put it down. And the doctor put it down all over his chart. And I felt like he betrayed me. Mm-hmm. And I felt like, I said, don't put depression on there, and he just put it down twice. And I was, Jamie Perez is doing a thing on Sunday at Spirit Rock, and it has to do with letting go. And I feel like I need to let this go. I mean, I do feel a little depressed, but I almost feel like that's normal when you get a concussion.
Of course, yeah, it is. And maybe that's what I don't know for sure, but that could be that what the doctor was just describing, that one of the symptoms that you were experiencing at the effect of the concussion was to feel depressed. So he may not have been making a global diagnosis of you, so you may help if you reframe it. But more importantly, when you say I have to let go, it doesn't mean get rid of that as an issue, but it's to feel it. It's to notice, oh, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, or I feel betrayed, and just recognize betrayal as just another changing condition. So it lets go. You see that it's something that just happens. It's not something you can do. It's not an egoic thing, letting go. It's something that happens with clear perception of what you're experiencing, and with clear perception and an open-hearted welcoming of what you're experiencing. So taking it in, oh, this is what it feels like to feel betrayed. This is what it feels like to feel depressed. This is what it feels like, the effect of this concussion. So that, in a way, is letting go. It's exactly what happens when mindfulness, its very function is to let go or let things be. Its function is not to get rid of. That if we can let things be, we can see that they liberate themselves. They come and go by themselves. So,
and that's exactly what I would like to do, is just let it go.
Let it be. Let it just roll.
Yeah.
And it'll come, it'll go, it'll come again.
And if he wants to put it on my record, okay, so be it. There's nothing I can do. Let it go. Let it go in the background, and just try to let the whole thing go. And I'll come back into balance in a short time, I think.
Yeah. So sorry that you had that experience, and yeah, the head is definitely had some brain things, so I can relate to having your head rattled.
Thank you so much, Howie. That was great.
Pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Anyone else? Hmm. Okay. Let's notice the quiet. Someone said to me that they had reduced the Dharma into a simple phrase. And you might, even as you listen to this, you might consider how you would describe the essence of the Dharma, the essence of the practice of awakening. And this person said, I would like to be able to make the attribution to the actual person, but he didn't give me permission. So I'm just going to say an anonymous person. He said, be still and love. Be still and love. That's the essence of the Dharma for him. And that was touching to me, because there is the matter for all of us, in a way, of our identities. The identity that thrives, the sense of the imaginary version of ourselves that plays in our mind, the illusory self, ego, identity, that seems to organize itself around activity, becoming someone, solving problems, fixing, figuring out, going. And that activity of going, I just had the thought. I wanted to share a piece from Thich Nhat Hanh. Just that activity of going, becoming, actually prevents it. Was that Bill? Did you have your hand up to speak? Okay, no, it was an accident. Anyway, it prevents us from sensing the fundamental source of well-being, a fundamental source of love, which is the simple experience of being present. That gets so obscured. This substratum of stillness and quiet gets so obscured in the busyness of our lives. Thich Nhat Hanh said, many people think excitement is happiness, but when you are excited, you're not peaceful. True happiness is based on peace. Remember, the Buddha was called Sukhiya, or the happy one, and he said the highest happiness is peace. But it's not the peaceful feeling, that may be part of the fragrance of peaceful feeling, but it's really the peace that is the essence of our mind, the essence of our nature, when our mind is in a way free, even momentarily, of its usual preoccupations. When it's not, when we're not, when we're either noticing the thinking mind or the mind is empty, which is what occurs in every moment of attention. The mind empties. And if one stays with that mind that's empty, free of its obsessions, its identities, the quiet, that substratum of quiet just begins to shine through. And if one sustains that, it is, something starts to percolate, and it's this feeling of love. It's this feeling of connection, feeling of caring. Not because we were practicing caring. That helps. It at least reminds us that that's part of our nature, but it's just what happens. But it's against the stream to give value to that, level of stopping, to stop, to keep quiet. And why we practice noble silence is to hear, is to be able to hear the silence of our own nature. And then be able to meet from that place, from that home base of silence, meet the movements of our mind, but without grasping and without condemning. Just be able to notice. And then that stillness, as things come and go, that stillness is not disturbed. So the metaphor that's often used, I was going to read a few sutras tonight. The metaphor often used is the simile of the pond, of like a clear, calm pond. That's would be considered the base of our nature. That's what we touch into. That's what we rediscover. We reawaken into that. We don't create it. So we don't want to be busy trying to create stillness and create silence. That'll just make us noisy and reactive. But we just tune in with what is obvious in our field. This is our bodies, our breath, and we pay attention. And that paying attention starts to reveal itself as this kind of quiet, especially in between our different moments of reactivity. Our mind is calm. It's like a clear, as you've probably heard, clear forest pool. But then the beauty of practice is that whatever comes to, as Ajahn Chah says, whatever comes to drink at the pool, whatever moves into our mind, we actually relate to it as we understand that what these mental habits that come into our mind, if they go unrecognized, they color that clear forest pond. And the 5 hindrances, you've probably heard this simile before, but the hindrance of the mind that is filled with sense desire, it's like the pond being colored by some very powerful dye that makes the water lose its reflective capacity. We're not able to see clearly just life as it is, things as they are. And our mind, we start entering into a world of confusion in a way. The confused view from this colored, dyed pond is that I need something to be different in order to be relieved of to return to calm. I need to have something. So our mind gets colored with wanting. It's like the water being dyed. And then when ill will comes into our mind, aversion, anger, frustration, fear, different forms of not liking, of moving away from, this is described as like the heat, especially anger or ill will. It's like the water is boiling. It's hot and it's bubbling so much that we're not able to see we're not able to have a clear reflection of reality. Yet, just a reminder that even with desire and aversion, when these things are noticed, they no longer hinder the mind. They become part of the reflection of the clear pond, the reflection of clarity, of this is just a hindrance of desire. It's not a complete drama of desire. It's not a complete drama, boiling, burning, a little bit. And this, I'm not trying to single you out, Stephen, but Stephen fell into the hindrance of aversion. And it began to feel boiling. And there's a view from that perspective of when your mind is boiling that doctor or that person, that situation is what's causing me to be angry, and that has to change. That person has to be different in order for me to have relief. Well, in the Dharma, it says it's this aversion that is causing the water to boil. It's this habit of mind. This is what opposes the natural peace and calm of our nature. And so instead of following the narrative of what he did and what he should be doing, we expand beyond that narrative when we feel that boiling quality, that the heat of anger, burning with anger. You've heard that expression before. And then it becomes just an expression of our clarity, the expression of the still pond that knows and reflects the reality of what's presenting itself accurately, simply. And then sloth and torpor is like the water being covered with thick algae, a dull mind that you can't see. The mind, the water is not reflective. You can't see clearly when our mind is sinking, when it's dull, when it's torporous. It's like algae. It's thick. And restlessness and worry is like windswept water when our mind is agitated. So to be able to, it's challenging to work with this windswept mind, but once we notice this is restlessness, then intuitively we respond with applying the antidotes that allow us to both recognize the restlessness, feel it, recognize it as a changing condition, like a weather front, but also to widen our lens so that we give that restlessness a big enough room to just muck around for a while, and then it eventually tires out, just like those wild animal that's been caged in. When you give it a big pasture, it eventually quiets down. But just in the most simple way, just knowing restlessness and worry as restlessness and worry, not building a drama about it. Windswept water. And last is doubt, the hindrance of doubt that obscures our natural stillness and clarity and calm. That it's like the water being dark with mud. It just completely clouds our perception when we're in a state of doubt, and we make just completely inaccurate conclusions about ourselves, about the practice, about teachers, about anything related to our practice of Dharma. We just get diminished by this state of mind, which is just doubt. But our mind goes into stories of, I can't do this, they can't do this, this is not like this should be like this. And it's all different kinds of disguises for this state of mind of doubt. And we're not able to see clearly. But as we practice using these states as the manure of our practice, to be able to know doubt as doubt reflects back the natural clarity of mind, and it no longer colors the pond with mud, but is just doubt. But getting back to the if I can find this sutra, in some way I want you to get used to hearing sutras, and it takes a certain kind of listening to hear them. They can drive you a little crazy because they're repetitive, but they're very pithy. Some of the sutras from thousands of years ago. Let's see if I can find the right one here. Well, I'll read you one sutra. This one was kind of exciting. This was a sutta about a king who went to sit in the forest. And I'll just give you a little synopsis first. And he starts uttering this phrase, "Oh, bliss, oh, what bliss." And the monks who are all around, who heard him saying, "Oh, what bliss, oh, what bliss," they assumed that he was reflecting on his time as a king and thinking about, boy, to have everything taken care of, to having power, to having everything, that must be the what he's saying, "Oh, what bliss." And so then they went to visit the former king who was sitting in the forest in meditation saying, "Oh, what bliss." I'll read it to you. So thus have I heard, that there was heard by me on one occasion when the Buddha was staying at Anupaya in the mangrove grove. And on that occasion, his name was Badya, the son of Goda, though gone to the forest, though gone to the root of a tree, though gone to some empty place, would constantly give rise to this udana, this utterance, "Ah, what bliss, ah, what bliss." And a good many monks, upon hearing this occurred to them. Without doubt, friends, the Venerable Bhatia leads the brahmacharya, which means he's given up sensual desire, sex, etc. He's a celibate monk living in the forest. Leads the brahmacharya without finding delight. That means he's not finding any delight therein, since the bliss of kingship was his when previously he was a layman. It is in recollecting this that he constantly gives rise to the utterance, "Ah, what bliss, ah, what bliss." Then a good many monks approached the Buddha and said to the Buddha, "The Venerable Bhatia constantly gives rise to ah, what bliss, ah, what bliss." Without doubt, the Lord, the Venerable Bhatia leads this life of brahmacharya without finding any delight, since the bliss of kingship was his when previously he was a layperson. It is in recollecting this that he constantly gives rise to this utterance, "Ah, what bliss." So the Buddha summoned the monk, a certain monk, to go and bring the monk Bhatia to him. And then the Venerable Bhatia then approached the Buddha and said this, "Is it true that you, though gone to the forest, though gone to the root of a tree, though gone to some empty place, constantly give rise to the utterance, 'Ah, what bliss, ah, what bliss'?" "Yes, it's so, Lord Buddha." But in perceiving what overriding interest, Bhatia, do you constantly give rise to the, "Oh, what bliss, oh, what bliss"? And this is what Bhatia said. Previously, Lord, when as a layperson I was reigning as a king, the guard inside the private quarters was well and thoroughly appointed, as was the guard outside the private quarters. The guard inside the city was well and thoroughly appointed, as was the guard outside the city. The guard inside the country was well and thoroughly appointed, as was the guard outside the country. That same I, Lord, being so guarded, warded, dwelled fearful, anxious, suspicious, terrified. But now I, Lord, though gone to the forest, though gone to the root of a tree, though gone to some empty space, dwell alone, unfearful, unanxious, unsuspicious, not terrified, unconcerned, unruffled, living off that given by others, with a heart that is of a deer. It was in perceiving this overriding interest, Lord Buddha, that I, though gone to the forest, though gone to the root of a tree, though gone to some empty place, constantly gave rise to this utterance. Ah, what bliss, what bliss. Then the Lord, fathoming this matter, gave rise at that time to this utterance. This is from the Buddha. They for whom anger exists not within, and who has proceeded past the multifold state of becoming, beyond the state of becoming and non-becoming, they with fear departed, blissful, grief-free, the devas do not experience the seeing of. Kind of have to get into the language of suttas, but nevertheless, the point being that it is not through becoming, through accumulation, through, as Thich Nhat Hanh says, that through gaining more excitement that we find relief, but it's being empty, simple, still, and realizing that our nature is that. And then we no longer have to go and search for the source of happiness and well-being and stillness anywhere else. And our mind free of that chronic state of becoming, that chronic state of searching for a better world, a better past, a better future. Free of that, we find the natural happiness. It's why I often quote from the Tibetan tradition where they say, don't go into the tangled jungle looking for the great awakened elephant who's already resting quietly at home in front of your own fireplace. Nothing to do or to undo, nothing to want and nothing missing. Everything unfolds of itself. Message of stillness. And when we're still, we open. And when we open, we care, we love. And you've probably heard the expression, attention brings affection. So love and stillness are not apart from one another. Love and attention are not two separate things. But to know whether this is so, we have to practice. Someone came to talk to me about their practice, and it was, I've often spoken to this person. I've been quite inspired by their practice and the way that they've been discovering that when they do regular formal practice, when they've really been in the flow of formal practice, they see that their that their minds they're much more in a state of friendliness. Their mind is less reactive if they do their practice. And it's a beautiful thing. You can see that there is some way that it begins to flow into the whole of our life. But that's not a reliable thing, because we can't always be doing formal practice because of the circumstances of our lives, the conditions of our lives. And I think for some reason I'm having a deja vu, or I know I repeat things, but I often think and say that trickle down economics doesn't work, but also trickle down Dharma doesn't really work in the long run. Our practice has to actually spread out into the whole of our life. And so this person, because of family issues, they've been having to travel a lot, and it's really hard to do formal practice. And they've been so exhausted from what they're dealing with in their life that they're just not as able to, at the end of the day, sit down quietly and sustain any kind of practice. And so they were judging themselves and lamenting that. And I said, well, I think if you give rise to the intention to spread that practice, to make the informal parts of your day equal to the formal period that you've done so beautifully at cultivating, but if you really cultivate the attention throughout your day in very creative ways, it doesn't have to look a certain way, then you will find that actually helps you, helps your formal practice. It actually continues the spreading of because remember, attention is completely portable. It follows us wherever we go. It's not relegated to the period when we're doing formal practice. It's anything we're doing, knowing what we're doing when we're doing it. It's having attention, both internal mindfulness and external mindfulness. Mindfulness, what we're seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting. And I described how when I started, at least trying to, it's always a work in progress, but trying to spread that attention and friendliness in all through my life. One of my teachers said to notice, and it's carried with me all these years, it was probably 40 years ago, said to notice what you do with your hands. And it completely blew my mind when I actually started to pay attention. But when we're doing a lot of formal practice, yeah, you start noticing what you're doing with your hands naturally. But if you're not doing a lot of formal practice, you can make the intention. What are you doing with your hands? And, sometimes I'm moving my hands when I talk. Sometimes I'm opening a door. Sometimes I'm eating. Sometimes I'm brushing my teeth. But just knowing what I'm doing with my hands. And then I often use the mantra. I use little mantras. Mantras are in the Dharma practice are like triggers, things that remind us. And the mantra that I know I share it a lot on Tuesday night. It's a line from Ajahn Chah, the great forest master, where it's just very simple. Don't let your mind leave your body. Don't let your mind. So in the morning, you set the intention to not let my mind leave my body. And then feel free to just let that play through your mind. Just like Ajahn Sumedho has had playing for many years in his mind. No matter how busy his mind was, he'd simply say, and this is, Stephen brought it up earlier, just say, let go, let go. He says, he says, you don't need to build this practice and develop that and go into this and read the sutras and study the Abhidharma and Buddhist psychology and become a world-renowned authority on Buddhism. Instead of being the world's renowned authority on Buddhism and being invited to great international Buddhist conferences, just let go. He says, I did nothing but this for about 2 years. Every time I tried to figure things out, I'd say, let go, until the desire would fade out. He says, I'm saving you from getting caught in incredible amounts of suffering. He says, there's nothing more sorrowful than having to attend international Buddhist conferences. So don't worry about becoming the Buddha of the age and imposing all these idealistic views of the Dharma. Just let go. Or just know what you're doing with your hands, or just don't let your mind leave your body. And you'll find that because you're returning to what is unconditioned, which is just the natural wakefulness of mind that's ever present and ever available. You're returning to what's natural. You're returning to love, which is unconditional quality. You're returning to clarity, which is an unconditional quality. It doesn't take a lot of work. It just takes remembering. It doesn't take strain. It takes just being aware with kindness. So may all of us find return to stillness and love. May all of us be liberated, and may our practice ripple in all directions, both for ourselves and for this stressed out, suffering, becoming world. And may we all be examples of peace. And then may we all be able to be at peace with the world and beyond the world. May we all be liberated. May all beings be liberated. Thanks for listening. I think Mary just dropped a reminder into the chat about an upcoming half-day retreat that I'll be doing online only on the 21st, and it will be entitled Spring Cleaning. I don't really remember what the description I wrote, but it was fun writing it. And I think that might be included in the chat. And just to expedite things, maybe Mary, do you want to say anything about anything else?
No, just a general reminder about Donna. It's an opportunity to practice to be aware of what's happening with your hands as you put your little Venmo and your PayPal. Anyway, whatever you can offer is greatly appreciated, and also just reminded that generosity is a practice of joy. I taught that last week. So anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you. And thanks for the joy talk last week. And thank you in advance for your generosity. And hope to see you on the 21st. Well, of course, next week, but on the 21st, come one, come all, for a half day. It's a chance to really sustain formal practice and informal practice, the in-between periods. And then I'll be doing an in-person or a hybrid also in April. So check it out. Love being with you. Please unmute and say goodnight to each other.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Howie.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Howie.
Good
Thanks,
night.
everyone, for being here.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Love you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
See you
you.
later,
Thank you.
alligator.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks again, Howard.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Howie, I have a question if you've just got another minute.
No problem. Please feel free.
So when you say knowing, like knowing doubt or knowing anger,
Just
or
being aware of it. Just being aware of it.
right. So what, and I may be answering my own question here, but let me ask it anyway.